This one was actually suggested by Roy from Random Precision Software. He's actually mentioned this a couple of times to me before, and I just haven't got around to it. But I was thinking about it the other day there, and he suggested recreating a game called Atomix, which was on the Commodore 64, the Amiga, the Atari ST. I think it was on Atari 8-bits as well. And so yeah, I'm going to be doing that. That's what this series is all about. And I'll show you it working. I'm using KP Atomix, which is actually a remake written in HTML5 and JavaScript, I think. I haven't actually looked at the source code yet, but I do use the level data from it. So I'm going to obviously be releasing the source code for this, no license or GPL or whatever the license is that they use. And so it's going to be the same thing for that. But as you can see just now, someone playing Atomix in the Commodore 64, that version there. It's a fun puzzler game. So yeah, that's what we'll be building in this series. This is KP Atomix, and it's the web version of it. I'm going to use this as the surrogate for the game that we're making. In fact, I'm going to use Lunar Lockout, which is a game that I wrote a long time ago, but I converted it recently, as in like 3 years ago, into Unity from C++, and I'm going to use that as the basis of this. I'm warning you now, I'm recording this piece after I worked on the actual code. I'm beginning to regret my decision, but we're going to press on. It's working, and I think it's going to get us there a little bit quicker. Anyway, this is the puzzle. It's a puzzle game essentially, and what you can do is you select the piece that you want to move, then you click the arrows, and then it moves in the direction it goes, but it only moves to where to the outmost, that you can't stop at a particular place. So it's kind of, you're stuck with where it ends up, and you can see that the joining parts of it, I need to make up this HOH, which is H2O, and so I have to like get these in the right position. So this works, but I've got it to this point here, and then to this point here, and then this one here. I've got to figure out how to get it up to here, and so I can do that there, and I can move this down here, and I can move this down here, and I've now beaten the level. So lots of ways in how to break that, but that's what we're going to be building in this series, is this particular puzzle. So without further ado, let's get started. Now that I've got everything I need, I've just pulled everything in from Lunar Lockout. I'm just going to make sure that everything's okay, and everything is okay. So select that, everything works fine. However, there was one slight problem. So inside here, I noticed that the layer was blank, so layer up here, and what I had to do was I had to go in here and I had to manually add these two layers because they were actually missing. So Unity, just a handy tip, Unity does not include layers when it does the export. Kind of found out the hard way, but it was luckily a 2-minute fix, so well, less than a 2-second fix even, so it wasn't too bad. So the first thing I want to do is for Atomix is I want to change the camera angle, and I think that might actually break a whole bunch of things, because it might the raycast that I use for selecting things might not work now, so we'll see, but I mean, it's a fairly easy check to make. So I have the camera here, the main camera here, and you can see that it's pointing at this angle here. I'm going to change it from perspective to orthogonal. So now that it's orthogonal, it's going to look a wee bitty weird in the main camera view, which I don't know if you can see there. It's going to look a bit weird. It's currently depth only. I'm just going to give it a solid color just now, and I'm going to change the background to black, and I'm going to place it 100% over the board just now. So if I drag that over to here, roughly there, so is that 4 on the Y? Maybe 5, 4.5. No, 4 looks like it's centered. And then -3 looks about right. And the rotation is going to be 90 degrees because it's going to be straight down. Okay. And then the Y value is not going to change because it's just whatever the Y value is. But the Z value is going to change. So that is going to be 0 on the Z. And then we need to zoom in. Now the easiest way to zoom in is to actually change the size, and so that's what we're going to do, is we're going to change the size. So I'm going to drag and drop it to that size there. So take a little sip of water. So we have the exact same board that we had before, but this time it is looking straight down. So that is working. So I'll reset that there. Obviously we don't have the background that we had before, so that's easily sorted. So we have this panel here, and it is not rotated around the x-axis. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees around the x-axis. And we are going to place it at 0, 0, 0, which is way down there. Why is it way down there? Oh, because this is down here. Whoopsies. Let me just undo that. Let's change that to canvas. So we're going to place that at 0, 0, 0, which is right. And you can see that it is massively huge because I think we actually had a camera on it. Yeah, we did. We had a background camera on it. So we don't need the background camera anymore. That can go. And then the canvas itself, let's give this a, let's rename this to background image. And then our background image, it is currently scaling at 0, 0, 0. Let's make that something 1280 by 720. Okay, and let's see what we've got here. It's still massive, so it's far too big. And our rotation, okay, so if we make that 90, okay, so what does that look like in the game? Looks like nothing just now. So if we bring that down a little bit, oh yeah, we can't see it in the game yet. Game camera, there we go. Okay, so you can see that it is too big. So if I make the image, let's make this canvas background image, and I make this what do I want this to be? World space, I guess. Yeah. Dynamic pixels per unit, 100. And then this, I've got to make this fill. So I'm going to make that fill there. And whoopsies, oh, that was a bad idea. And then I need to bring the size in for this. So that's going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, like that. Okay, and now I can resize the canvas. So the canvas itself can be, let's divide that by 10, 72, like that. And if I go to main camera, that's much better. Okay, so we run this now, we should have It's probably not really in keeping with the rustic aesthetic that we're going for here. Plus it's also like really too far down. Oh, it's doing that again. We're gonna bring that up. Let's just zoom out a wee bit. So if we bring that up to there, you can see that we've got, like, it's far too big compared to the main camera, which is that size there. We really want it to sort of fit the main camera. So I think what we might do is see, the scale's all off as well. So if I make that 1, 1, and 1, that's going to be huge as well. Yeah, I might have to figure something else out for that one. But yeah, anyway, at least it will be, the background will be there. So we get that 0.01, 0.001. That's that there. And maybe 1. And there we go. Okay. We don't need to spend too much time on this, it's just a background. So you know we're using the KP Atomix project as a sort of basis to here. So they have all the levels here, including the originals. So I'm going to use this JSON file to create the level. So it's basically, I don't know what the twos are here, but I'm going to put a box every time I see a hash mark, and then it's just going to be dots, or it's just going to be spaces for there. And it seems that every arena, original JSON, is not quite the same size. So I think that's okay. We're probably going to have to add like a camera or something to this JSON, so we know where to place it so that it's like centered on the screen. But for now, as long as we can just describe this particular map, we should be good to go. These 3s and 2s and 1 here, these are the molecules, I think, and they tie in with, so you get molecule is 1, 2, 3. Sorry, let me just zoom in a wee bit. It's difficult to see this. So just to sort of read this. Okay, so this is the arena here. So these are the hash marks of the blocks, and then the full stops are the spaces. So in other words, don't put a tile there. The 3, the 2, and then the 1 in here, these are the start places for each one of the atoms. So the atoms have a start place. And then they have 1, 3, and 1, which is C, C, G, and G. I'm not sure what that means just yet. I haven't read the source code, but I don't need to read the source code to draw the map, which is what I'm going to be doing just now. And the reason why we've got that is we want to be able to freely move the robot. For now, we want to be able to freely move the robot inside the confines of the map, and that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to make a copy of this, and I'm going to paste it into here. So now I have my JSON file, and I'm going to save it inside our resources folder. Where's assets, resources, and then this is the original maps that we have here. So I'm just going to call this original.json. Oh, actually I've got to call it text, haven't I? TXT. So that's going to be original.txt. Now what I have to do is I have to recreate this in JavaScript in our game. So we don't need half these things anymore. So if I go back to the project view and I go to resources, we don't need 1 through 10 anymore because we're not using that. But we do need to have to describe how to do these squares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these squares and I am going to move it over to here. Okay, so I think these are all, oh, these are all at some weird position, but that's okay. And then I'm going to take board and I'm going to delete board. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. I need to move square out of this. There we go. Okay, so delete board. Because I don't think I need board anymore. Board needs to go. Because we're going to recreate those anyway. And then this one here, let's put this on the plane. Let's see what that looks like through the camera. Okay, so 0, 0, 0 is bang center inside there. Okay. All right. Oops. Okay. No. Square. That's the one. Okay, so that's over here now. Which is just where the rest of these are, and these are basically how we're going to spawn our squares. But before we get to that, we have to do this here. So I'm going to make some objects for this. So I'm going to my scripts folder, and I'm going to go into a new folder called Atomix. And inside here, I'm going to create some JSON classes, and I'm going to create some JSON things. So this is going to be what we're going to call this level. Atomix. I know it's redundant, but the name of Atomix level is redundant because we already have it. In that the game is already called Atomix, but I'm not sure if we already have a class called level, so I'm going to leave it as that just now. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to say serializable. And then I'm going to add the system using, and then our Atomix level is nothing more than copying these values here, which is this is a level here. So this is our level. So I'm just going to comment this out. So we have public string ID, public string name, public, and then this is going to be, oh, this is atoms. Okay. This is going to be a dictionary. I'm not sure if we can do dictionaries. Okay, well, we can try it. This probably will not work, but we can try it anyway. So it's going to be a string, and then it's going to be a string of that. Atoms, and then we have arena, which is a array of strings. Arena, and then underneath that we have molecule, which is also an array of strings. Molecule. Okay, so we have that there. So we can get rid of this and get rid of this and make sure we've got everything there. So we got ID. Yep. We got water. Yep. We get atoms, which I'm not convinced we can do, but let's try it. We have arena. Yep. And we have molecule. Okay. So we got all of these. Now what we need to do is we need to be able to load this in here. So I'm going to create another script. And I'll put this in here, and I will call it, oh, actually, sorry. We still need a level. We need the outer part of this. So we need to have a full string, and we're going to call this Atomix file. Okay, let me open that up. And serializable. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And what do we need for serializable? Well, we need name, credits, license, and then the levels. Okay. So we need public string name, public string license. What was it? SE. What's that? What's that spelling? Name credits. Okay, we need credits as well. Credits. Public. Atomix levels. Okay, and then we just got the array of levels. Alrighty. Alright, so that sounds good. So now we can create our loader. So we'll just put this inside the JSON one here. We'll create one here. So, and then this is going to be atomic file loader. And then we're going to say public. What's this going to be called? Text asset level file, and then it's going to be public Atomix file Atomix level data. Actually, let's just call it level data because at this point we know what it is. So we'll call it level data, and then we'll say void start, because this is going to be a mono behavior. And we're going to say var JSON equals level file dot text, and then level data equals JSON utility dot from JSON Atomix file JSON. Okay, so far so good. And I'm going to set a breakpoint on this, and then for this one here, we get this fade to black. I don't know if fade to black is controlled by the game or not. No, it's not. I think it's controlled by something else. So fade to black is a canvas. So if we just make this alpha 0 just now, that should give us yeah, that'll show us there. Okay, so you can see that the square's still there. We should be able to move it around the board, and I think it's restricted to 5, so we're going to have to not restrict it to 5. So we'll do that in just a sec as well. And then inside here we've got board, so let's create a new object here. Create empty, and we'll call this board manager, and we'll put that in here, and we'll set this to be 000 just for completeness and tidiness. Atomix file loader, and then we will drag and drop the resource file, which is this one here. And right now we don't have any level data. I'm hoping that when we run this we get level data, but I've got a funny feeling it's not going to work because it doesn't like dictionaries. But we'll see. Okay, well, so far so good. It's got the content, and it's got level data. It's got levels. It's got the arena, which has got all of those. Does it have molecules? Yep, but it doesn't have the atoms. See, that's the tricky bit, is it doesn't have the atoms. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But it's okay. We've got the level data, and that's the most important part, because we can use that to build our level with. Right. Okay. Where are we? We are doing this one here. So I need to have public game object square, and then we want to describe the first level. So we want to do describe level, level data dot levels 0. We want to describe the first level. We probably want to do make this any level, so maybe we want to pull that in at some point and make that not level 0. We also want to make this public, so I guess we actually want to pass in 0 here, because we want to be able to level ID or level index, and then we're going to say level index equals math.max 0 level index, and then we're going to mod that with level data dot levels dot length. Okay, now assumes length is not equal to 0, because if it's equal to 0 then it's going to go pop. Anyway, I'm going to do var level index is that, and really we shouldn't actually change that level index, but it's okay, we don't have like strict or anything on, so it's okay. So now that we've got that, we can now describe the level. So the level data, var level data equals level, oh crap, can't call that, var arena equals level data dot levels 0 dot arena, and then we want to say for int I equals 0, let's make that y equals 0, y less than arena dot length, y plus plus. So we're going to go down every single row, and we're going to say for int x equals 0, x is less than arena, let's make this var row equals arena y row dot length x plus plus. Okay, so we're going to go down each and every, rather than me talking about it, I can actually show you in here. So what this nested for loop is going to do is it's going to say for each row in here, so each one of these, we're going to go down them one at a time, and then every row we're going to say, is this character a hash? And if it is a hash, we're going to add a square. Is this character hash? We're going to add a square, and so on until we eventually get to the bottom of there. So I'm going to say if row x equals hash, var game object equals new game object, and we want to store these, and we'll do that in just a sec. New game object, oh actually it would be instantiate square go.transform.position equals new vector 3, and then it's gonna be where's the square, so it's that and then that, but the y has to remain the same. So y doesn't change but x does, so it's going to be our x and our y, but it's negative that. Yes, it's negative that because you notice that as you go into the screen, z becomes positive, but it becomes negative towards that end there. So we want it to go negative down that way, but we want to ignore y as well. So our y is actually our z plane. Yeah, why is that not? Oh, that's why. So we do that there, and then, oh, that would be a level index. Whoopsies. Okay. Oops. And we also want to store this position here. So we want to have private list list game object squares, and we want to add generic connections. We want to say squares equals new, that there, and then inside here we want to do squares, add game object. So what we can do is we can say for each bar square in squares, destroy square, squares dot clear. Now, why do we do that? Why are we doing this? We want to if we reload a level or we load the next level, we're going to clear all the squares that we already have, and then we're going to just recreate them. Now we could pull them, that would work as well, but for now this is just going to be a quick and dirty thing, so I'm going to mark that up as to do. Can we pull these instead of destroying them? I don't think it matters. Either way. So okay, so let's try this. And if I go to our board manager, we need to drag in our square. So our square is floating around somewhere. Yeah, we've got to put them down into characters. So we'll call this square, and we will drag square into our game object. And when we run this, boom. Okay, well, let's move to scene. There we go. We have our scene. So this is our first scene. So what I want to do is I want to be able to add. I want to be able to move the camera so that it encompasses this and also has, like, it's the same size every single game. So we need to figure that out. So for now, I'm gonna cheat. Is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go to the main camera here, and I'm gonna move the X over a little bit so we can get most of it in shot. And then the Z, I'm gonna move down to here, and then the size, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so we have that there. Okay. I'm gonna have to do this in 2 passes. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do that. Okay, I think I can do copy world placement, and then for the main camera I can do paste world placement. There we go. Okay, so when we run it we should get that. Okay, and now we need to change the size, which is going to be 5, maybe 6. Okay, so it's a bit of a mess, I granted. It is a bit of a mess, but we've got 6 here, so that's good. So let's change that to 6 just now. So let's change that from there to there to there. And like I said, we'll probably have to change some of the formatting of this because I'm not entirely sure dictionaries work. So you can see that the crosshair thing, that doesn't quite work. So we're going to get that done in the next part. Okay, so our cursor is in the wrong position. Let's find the cursor. So where's our cursor? Cursor's here. Okay. So first of all, it should be one along that way, and I think it should be one down as well, and that puts us right bang slap there. Okay, So we need to be able to move the cursor anywhere there is a blank square, because right now it's going over the top of it. So in order to do that, I think we can steal some of the code that we do when we select something. So if we do object selection, directions allowed. Aha, okay. So our directions, wait, what happened there? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Object selection, okay. Direction lines. Oh, I see, okay. That's pointing to that script there. Ah, okay. I get, sorry, I wasn't entirely sure what was happening there. Okay, so the cursor is that. Object selection is this. Okay. So to do move piece, okay, we don't need that. We don't need that. Undo, redo, stack instance, move piece. Okay, I think some of these we can just get rid of, but we want to make sure. So if piece is not equal to 0, piece component is bouncing. So if it's not equal to 0, do that. Otherwise, where's the direction? Turn off move, cursor move allowed. Stop it. Who wrote this? You ever look at a bit of code and you're like, what is going on here? Okay, so there's a directions allowed component, and so when a direction is selected from the cursor, cursor direct, where's the cursor? Is this one here? Okay, so okay, so new position is that, new position is that, and then it no move, where's no move? Seriously, have you ever looked at a bit of code and you're like, why did you write something so complicated? This is why comments. Wow. Okay, let's try and decipher what's happening here. So if you press left arrow, for example, it adds one to new position and then calls direction selected. So it calls direction selected, which is this inside here, and it says if you're not moving, or the piece is not null, or piece equals null, or directions available is that. Ah, okay. So really we don't want to show the directions, but we do if we've got them selected. See, we don't want to. We want to be able to block that. So if I do square, where's my square? Oh, square's way over here. Whoops. Okay, so square is essentially a play piece, because we don't want it to affect anything. and we also want it to, it's there, mesh renderer, materials, blah 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 blah. Okay, so doesn't affect anything, does it? Okay, so why is it stopping at 5? I think that's the big question. So I think that is answered if we go to cursor. No move there. Object selection. Is it just hard coded? I think it's just hard coded. Oh, it is hard coded. Okay, so we're going to do that and that. Okay, well, I think that's easy. Let's move that around, so we should be able to have full freedom moving around there. Okay, but we still need to block it in the confines of this. Like we can't allow it to go into here. And the way we can do that is we can check the direction. So the direction, we've got, it's 2 modes essentially. So inside here we've got no move, but then it's got moving. This is terrible. Why is there 2? Like, why are there 2 variables for moving? There's moving and no moving. Well, surely no moving would be the opposite of moving, and vice versa. So I don't understand why no move is there. Is that used anywhere in here? Yeah, no move. Okay. So if it's that else that, I think we're all agreed on that. But instead of saying this, I'm going to say if is normal movement private rule is normal movement. Turn that. And then E direction. E direction, what is direction? Direction is vector 3. Vector 3 direction. So if it's not the normal direction, there's no direction, no cursor. Let's check this. We can say if that oh, but that's the new position, is that one? I don't think we've changed anything by doing that. It's just changing that particular bit of code. So if I go back to there, I need to get it to check and see. So if I go to directions, get what? Add line. What the heck? return directions direction. What the hell does that even mean? I should have just run this from scratch. What a terrible idea this was. Okay. Sorry. Just yeah. What was I thinking? This is far too complicated. Okay. Let me think here. So if it's normal movement, what I want to check to do and see is if the move is cursor move allowed. So what does that do? Cursor move right, toggle move, and then it just makes the move. Okay. So that's that. All right. Okay. I'll pause it for a sec. All right. I have no clue what's happening. Okay. Right. So there's all these moves and no moves and I don't know what's happening. So all right, so we move the cursor. That checks to see if an arrow has been done there, and then it does a select direction. But I think I also need to choose to make sure if a move has been allowed. So if it's normal movement, it doesn't do anything. But what I really want it to do is, I think, yeah, this doesn't allow me to cancel that. So I need to figure a way how to cancel it if it's bad, if it's a bad move. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste some code is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat. So I'm going to go to here, and then where's the direction lines? I think it's inside, the code's inside here. No, it's not in there. Object selection. No. Good grief, where is it? Is it in cursor? Oh my god, where is that? Object selection, cursor, direction. So cursor, object selection, and then directions allowed. There we go. Okay, right. So now what we want to do is I want to check and see if that has gone out. So I want to check and see what the direction is. Oh my god. Okay. Right, let me just grab this here. So we want to say that there, and direction is allowed. So the direction is going to be whatever these are. So I'm going to say private bool cursor can blocked by let's do cursor no wall hit. Okay, so this is just going to be transformed up position plus direction. So that's going to be direction, and then we want to say return true, return false, return true, cursor no wall hit. Okay, and then I think we want to key this in another way. So let's do public bool is direction, and then it's going to be vector 3 direction, params args, oops, key code keys. What's wrong with that? Oh yeah, okay. And then we want to say key down equals false for each bar key in keys. Key down or input dot get key and then we want to say return key down and cursor no wall hit direction. Okay, so is directions, we pass in the direction that we want to go and travel to, and then we pass in the keys that we want to check and see. So let's add some comments so that when we come back in here, we know what we're talking about. Check to see if the cursor hits a wall. If so, we don't. The function returns false. The direction the cursor wants to travel. True if the cursor can make travel in that direction. Okay, so we can get rid of that. And then this one here, did the player press one of the keys and can the cursor travel in that direction? Direction keys. True if the cursor, if the player hit the cursor key and they can travel in that direction. So only, I guess only if they're not holding something. So we need to figure out like when they're not holding something, but I think that's a problem for another video because this is going to be the last problem that we work on today. So we're now going to change all these is direction things to use these key codes. So we're going to say is direction left, comma, and then it's going to be A or left arrow. What does it not like about that? Oh. Okay. And then we're going to say is direction vector 3 dot right, comma, this guy, this one, and the same for this one here. Is direction 3 dot forward, that, and the same for this one here. Is direction vector 3 dot back. There's a lot of arguments about whether you put functions or you just make like a big massive function, but sometimes it's just easier when you're reading your code. Like don't optimize too soon, which is clearly what I was doing, or I don't know what I was doing in this code, but this makes sense to me now. This is direction left, and then I pass in all these things here. So if I want to change that and add new key codes, then then it should be a trivial matter. So let's see if this breaks or just doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work. And I think that's okay, because I think I know what's wrong. Because I think the problem is that this square needs a bigger box glider. And then we make that box glider just a little bit bigger. Because I think the problem is it's not on the same plane. Is that? Well, it's sticking. Well, it can't move in that direction, so I think the problem is because it is heading out 5 from there. I don't want it to head out 5 from there, I just want it to head out 1 from there. Because I don't want it beyond this point. Yeah, see, it's sticking there. Yeah, it's not letting me move there. What if I did 0.5? Okay. Yeah, 0.5 does not work. Okay, now clearly need to find something better than that. Actually, do you know what? To be honest, for all you screaming at the window there, I think we can make this a little bit easier. I think we can just do this, because if the cursor has a rigid body and the box glider has a container, it should just not move. Okay, let's see where that is. Let's see if we're on the same plane as it. Okay. See, the problem is we're not using physics though. Okay. Alright, need to figure this out. Right. Right, let's go to here, and then the next one to the right will be cursor no wall hit thing. So we'll set a breakpoint there, and we'll put that in there, and then do that across there. We'll get a new raycast hit, and we get false. We get nothing for that, nothing for that. But the problem is, I think, it's going beyond where we need to go. 0.75. So it's going from the current position plus the direction in that direction. So I think we need to do it to this point. So we just need to do it from the position out to the direction and then out there. So that should work. Boom. Okay, there we go. So now the cursor is constrained inside the grid. Alright. Right, nice. There you go. And so, I mean, for the majority of this, we're not actually using anything more than we had with Lunar Lockout, to be honest. This is very similar to the code that we had. So, okay. Well, I'm going to end the video there. That's a good place to stop, and we'll pick it up next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it the old thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it the old thumbs down. Leave a comment below as well. All of these things help rise us up in the YouTube algos, and I really appreciate it because it really drives the channel forward a little bit. And as always, if you did enjoy this, you got this far, and you want timely reminders of when I put new videos up, then don't forget to hit the old subscribe button and notification bell, and YouTube will work its algorithms and give unto you these videos, whatever, or not. It's up to you. It's a free country. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.